What up, what up, what up? We are back. Who am I? Jersey Street Corner, and this is the Prison Talk Show, people. Today, I'm giving y'all part 2. This is how inmate Carl, well, he turned into the finisher. Stay tuned to find out what happened. Coming up next. Okay, y'all, getting right into it. As you know, if you saw part 1, Carl has just went last on a 5-man gang graping, including Booty Bama Bang Bang, C4, Punisher, himself, and the infamous Harry Oh My. Now, at the end of this ordeal, people, your boy Carl, he had a new name in the jail. Not the pod, people, in the whole jail. You know how people are feared on the street? How there are some criminals that you speak their name and you just like, man, I hope that dude don't never come down this block. I hope he don't never look my direction. Yeah, this dude Carl, he got named the Finisher. And I'm going to tell you why, y'all. But just remember what I said at the end of part 1. Carl had graped that man for 30 minutes straight, y'all. But it's not the fact that he graped him for 30 minutes straight. It's what he did before that, y'all. So, and this would be an ongoing thing with Carl, which would don him the name the Finisher. This is how he finished his prey. It's sickening. It's disgusting. And again, people, if you did not come to hear these crazy stories, I suggest you stop now. Because it gets only more and more diabolical from here, people. The stories I have to tell you are not fabricated. People's identities are hidden. But these are facts, people. Things that really happen. Now, Carl, if you remember why Carl is in prison. Carl, well, he unalived his wife, y'all. And he unalived somebody else. Now, I'm not going to get into it. Just find the video. Make sure you like and subscribe it too when you find it. But Carl has his introduction to you. Anyway, back to the story. Stop that, y'all. Just stop it. All right. Now, Carl, he has an infatuation with white, blonde boys ever since his wife let him down. He has been infatuated with white boys. So, when he can't get a white boy, he'll find the closest thing to it. He don't care at that point. Because when the lights go off, to him, they all little white boys. Carl, out of nowhere, he unleashed the super villain inside of him. When they did that gang graping, y'all, he realized the monster that he really was. He graped that guy longer than the Punisher, longer than Booty Bama Bang Bang, longer than C4. He graped him longer than Harry Oh My. And Harry was in there spanking dude. Nah. This is exactly what they said happened. And Yeah, y'all, I'm gonna let y'all know in this video what gangs exactly told and what happened to those two inmates. That's toward the end of the story. Please don't fast forward, y'all. Alright, back to it. Carl told this guy, listen, he got close up on him. He got behind him. He grabbed him by his neck. He close up on him. He said, listen, I care about you. So I'm going to give you this one favor. Carl pulled out a jar of Vaseline, y'all. He said, stick your hands in there and rub it in your ass. That's the only favors I'm doing you. And well, the young boy got to grabbing that Vaseline. I guess that probably was the smartest thing he could have done if he wasn't going to push that blade. And well, they said Carl demolished this young boy. The boy had to get stitches, y'all. 30 minutes straight. Carl just pumping him. And well, after that, even the Punisher said, damn. And they named him the Finisher. And from that day forward, and all of their little escapades and whatever they was doing throughout the jail, if they was doing it together, like this same incident, they let him go last. Because they said, nah. You cool and everything, homeboy, and you definitely got to rock with us, but you got to go last, homeboy. You cannot wear out the product. That's like wearing out a brand new pair of Nikes, and you done wore them out in less than a week. Nah. It's 5 of us, so we'll take it easy, and you got to go last, my boy. This is all what the gang member told us. They were arguing over him around right there. He bent over the side of a bunk with a white sheet up in front of a door, and all of them in one cell arguing over him. Who going first, who going last? That's crazy. That probably has to be the scariest thing he ever went through in his life. I'm scared for him. Just hearing this shit. I'm scared for him. I'm scared of what's probably going to happen to him, unfortunately, which we're going to get into those prison politics. Some things just ain't right, y'all. But you ride or you die. Or both. Yeah, but anyway, he had to get stitches, y'all. They was able to do that in the infirmary at the prison. So at least he didn't have to get, airlifted or EMS'd out of there to a real hospital. They was able to take care of him right there in the prison. He stayed out the cell after that for a long time. He had to heal up. They had him in the infirmary wing, all of that. Now, when this inmate would come back down to the pod, y'all, we will find out he was a blood. Yep. Let's get into it. Now, word would get around to Dee Dee, so he would call a meeting. He'd get all the bloods around, and he'd get the young boy, and he make sure he put the word out. I need all my generals to make sure that y'all here is going to be a DP tonight for sure. For sure. Because supposedly it's true. The word that's going around is true. Old boy had to get put out the pod, go to infirmary, and get better and all this shit. And he been out for weeks. So that much they know is true. Something happened. Now, he got to explain himself. So, they all get there. They form a circle around him. And young boys start talking. And they ask him questions. They're like, well, how many times did it happen, blood? And dude's like, it happened 4 times, man. I couldn't stop it. They just looking like, damn. Now this is one of their young boys, one of their prospects, one of their crash outs that they really gave no guidance to. They didn't make sure he was alright. They didn't check on him. So even right now, y'all, they're just looking to find any reason to beat him down. Which they already have plenty of reasons to beat him down. Because most gangs don't tolerate the Bocce Boy shit. So they keep asking him questions. They're like, "Hey, listen, man, why you ain't say nothing to nobody the first time, or why you let it get that far? Why you ain't push that blade on him more?" They're like, "Look at him, he's a gorilla. I mean, what was I supposed to do? He's like 320 pounds." They're like, "I'm saying, like, I would have did this, I would have did that." And now these guys, no matter what people call them, booty bandits, rapists, whatever. When you big and scary like Harry O'Mine, Punisher, Carl, Booty Bama, and you just lurking around the pod, even if you by yourself, you inconspicuous on the corner, you air hustling. If they hear any of their names or any of their actions being mentioned, they immediately take action. So, Punisher will be over there warming up some coffee. And he hear him talking to the young boy like, "Man, you should have said something earlier. I would have did this. I would have did that." Punisher just looking at him. He's like, "Yeah, I think that's going to be my next victim right there. Or he would have did this. He would have did that to me." And the young boy looking at him, and he see Punisher looking at him, and he like, "Hey man, just chill, man. Just leave it alone, man. Look, it's over with. I'm good. I'm alive. Just leave it alone, man. Just do what y'all gonna do, man." So he like to say no more. So they're like, hey, look, Didi, I think we ought to throw him off the set, man. He a punk now. They're like, "For real though, he a punk now. He riding with them now, man. He gotta get DP'd, man." And they're like, "All right, look." And it's like probably about 30 bloods. He's like, "Look, he gonna get DP'd. We're gonna throw him off the set, but we gotta show him a little bit of love, y'all. I don't believe this was his fault, but we cannot turn a blind eye to what happened. So, all y'all can't do this. Only 5 people gonna be allowed to jump him out." And that's what happened, y'all. The young boy, young blood that was great, he was allowed to get jumped out the set. But instead of all 30 of them jumping on him, only 5 did. Now, they dislocated his jaw. He had raccoon eyes. You know, he was hurting, but he wasn't as in bad shape as he would have been if all 30 of them would have started stomping all over him. You know what I mean? So that's what happened in his instance. Right after that meeting was over, y'all, Punisher, he heard all he needed to hear. He went on about his way, got his coffee and kept it moving. But he was on the lookout for Lil Rah-Rah. Yeah, y'all, Lil Rah-Rah said he was going to do this, and he was going to do that to Punisher. Well, Punisher planned on finding out. So, he waited for Lil Rah-Rah to get his shower shoes and head on down to the shower. When he saw him go in the shower, y'all, he grabbed that sword, that blade, y'all. He grabbed it and he went on in that shower. Now, I'm going to make this quick for y'all people because it don't take much to visualize exactly what happened in there. He put that blade to his neck and said, "What you going to do, Rah-Rah? What you going to do? Rah-Rah, butt naked." Man, all he did was whip out, "Scream my daddy, scream my daddy." And well, y'all, since he was already in the shower wet, it slipped right on in, y'all. Pause. And Punisher didn't care. He was getting soaking wet. He fully clothed, getting soaking wet. He did what he did. Then he turned him around and punched him in his face. Boom! Say something, I dare you. Punisher walked out of there like it never happened, y'all. Right on back to the pod. He said, well, I got another one. Now that last scraping, that would be the one to get the Punisher up out of there. At least for a little while. Took him to the hole, y'all. Why? Because this guy, this blood rah-rah that he graped, he wasn't going for it. After dude punched him in the face, he said he'd rather hit the gate and tell him he's scared for his life before he tell the Bloods what happened to him in that shower. So that's what he did, y'all. He ran up there. He said, look at my eye, y'all. I'm scared. I don't know who did it, but I'm scared for my life. Please get me off this pod. So he got off the pod and he didn't get his wounds, properly checked. He just said he gonna deal with it himself. He got off the pod, and when he was off the pod, he went ahead and got some medical supplies, and I can't get into the details of what he did to himself, y'all, but he cleaned himself up. Let's put it that way. And that's what he had to do to get off the pod without the Bloods finding out what, Punisher did to him. But he wasn't very smart because they still found out when the Turtles came in there to get Punisher. They came in there 10 deep, y'all, because they knew this man was a monster. And he could take probably about 3 or 4 of them on at the same time. So they came ready. And, well, he fought, he struggled, banged him up a little bit. But in the end, y'all, they maced him up, beat him down, cuffed him up, dragged him out of there. And there you go, y'all. The Punisher was on his way to a 2-year sentence in administrative segregation. Lockup. Bye-bye. All your meals will be slid through this gate. From now on, inmate. He couldn't do nothing but beat the walls up in there. People were safe for a change from the Punisher. But it will be only so long before he get let back out. If you got a 8 or a 10 or 15-year bid due, you will bump back into the Punisher. Believe that. Now, with the Punisher out of the way, the group starts to get a little shaky. They're like, alright, they're coming for us. They're coming for us. We shouldn't have let none of them, we should have unalived all of them. We shouldn't have let none of them even live. They talking, we ain't scare them enough. And, mind you, Punisher had just raped somebody right before they locked him up. And they still wasn't scared to talk. So, Carl, he said, I guess we're going to have to go on a spree. And they're looking at him like, what you talking about? He's like, a graping spree. He said, huh? We're going to grape as many of them as we can. And see how many of them fold then. So now, they going after as many gang members as possible. They don't care what gang they in. They looking mainly for the ones that go into the shower with no lookouts, y'all. They was infamous for getting the ones with no lookouts. And the ones that did have lookouts, they'd sneak up on the lookout, pow, knock him out cold real quick. Drag him on in there too. And guess what, y'all? They got 2 for 1. Yeah, y'all, they got 2 for 1. They got a lookout and they got the gang member. Yeah, y'all. They was in there graping these men left and right, y'all, because they wanted to see what they was going to do next. You going to tell your homie what happened last night? You going to tell? You gonna tell some of them don't even know who did it. They too ashamed to talk about it, but they don't even know who did it. Yeah, y'all. Harry O'My, the ruthless monster. Well, he wasn't as nice as Carl, y'all. He wasn't passing out no Vaseline, y'all. He took pride in causing pain. He would make sure he would make it as hard as possible for anybody to wiggle away. He would get that neck hold, and then he would put that knife to their neck, and he would tell them, you better act like 50 or die trying. Yeah, give Richard die trying. I dare you. Do something. Do something. And they wouldn't do nothing. Man, this dude found him a gang member, y'all. But not just any gang member. He found a high-ranking Crip. And he went in that bathroom and destroyed him, y'all. Now, I know y'all thinking, damn, what kind of penitentiary was you at where this much homosexual activity went on? I'm telling y'all, I was with the monsters, y'all. I had to fight these monsters off with blades, shivs, shanks, you name it. These monsters were untamed. They were outcast from society, y'all. These monsters have done heinous crimes, and they don't care about you or me. So yeah, y'all, I was around some monsters. And to wrap it up, all I'm going to say is don't find yourself in the same situation where you got to stab somebody or you got to poke somebody in their eye with a number 2 pencil. You got to do whatever you got to do to survive that situation. But under no means necessary are you to succumb to any man. Else you're just going to be labeled a punk. And you ain't going to be able to do your time that way. Alright, y'all. That's going to be it for this one. If you like that, get at me. Subscribe. Hit the like button. Share the video. Let all your friends see. Let all your friends know. Jay Corner is here to spread the word. The penitentiary ain't no game, young people. And that go for all y'all young boys out here with the switches. And y'all out here jumping people into gang. Y'all don't know that ain't what you want. You don't want to walk up into that penitentiary 150 pounds soaking wet and think you gang and that's gonna save you. You better hope it do before Harry O'My finds you. You better hope that gang do help you before the Punisher run into you. Or C4. You better hope Carl, aka the Finisher, don't run into you. Because like I said, Carl gonna approach you and he gonna be sweet. He gonna be nice. He gonna do all the things he's supposed to do when he courting a lady. And then he gonna slide you that Vaseline, y'all. And say, this is the last favor I'm gonna do for you. And well, y'all know the rest of the story. Get back with me, y'all. It's your boy Corner. And this is Prison Talk. I'm out. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I drop a new video every other day. And you never know what Corner's going to be talking about. If you have any specific topics you'd like to hear, get in the DMs, people. I need to hear your suggestions. But right now, I need you to hit that like button, share the videos, and subscribe. Show your boy Corner some love. Alright, y'all, with that, we out.